That's it. You're going back to 2006. On an ordinary night in 2006, my mother sped out of her bedroom towards what she would later describe as a loud choking sound.
But as it turns out, everything was fine. My brother had simply snuck out of bed for some late-night Nicktoons and was laughing so hard at an episode of Kappa Mikey she literally thought he was dying.
If you want to know, it's actually the episode where Mikey and Gonard start the lemonade stand because they have an insane debt to fill. Pretty relatable, honestly. Kappa Mikey is a Nicktoons network show I wouldn't blame you for not knowing about. It seems to have all but faded into obscurity. If you watched the Nicktoons network in the mid-2000s, it might be stuck in the back of your brain with chunks of Mr. Meaty and the like, sort of the bargain bin of shows, since they weren't even on Nickelodeon. If you're into these kinds of videos, you may only remember Kappa Mikey for the search for its missing MTV pilot. For my brother and I, it was one of our favorite shows. We were always quoting the jokes and had the theme song on our stupid little MP3 players. Kappa Mikey aired for 2 seasons on Nicktoons Network from 2006 to 2008. It is a comedy centered around an American man named Mikey Simon who wins a contest to star in Lilymoo, a tokusatsu-style show in Japan. Mikey is represented as a thick-lined American-style character, whereas his co-stars take inspiration from anime.
But we're not talking about Mikey.
Buckets!
We're going to talk about Guano, and not that Guano, The Guano we're talking about is Mikey's co-star. Guano is a nervous, obsessive actor, writer, director, same. But he's also...
Who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu!
Pikachu!
During the 2000s, Pikachu parodies were sort of a dime a dozen. Some jokes were about Pokemon itself, its ubiquitousness at the time, its commercialization, but the ones who stood out most were characters in their own right. The comedy of Guano, outside of the very dumb joke that a cute character is named after bat poop, is that while he's an adorable mascot character, beloved by child fans of Lilymoo,
I'm not filled with candy! Prove it!
he's actually an adult man in a suit who takes his job way too seriously, which I can personally relate to. And he smells bad, which I can also relate to.
I definitely don't need to tell you this, but Pikachu is maybe the most merchandisable character ever, spawning endless waves of merch. Plushies, Christmas ornaments, skyscraper-sized balloons, and mascot suits. That's actually exactly what we're here to talk about.
Mascot suits. And in particular, my never-ending quest for one mascot suit of Guano. So the suit can be seen in the Nicktoons network. We really get into character promos. This was my first glimpse of the elusive Guano suit, and I wanted to know more. I wanted to know if there was more footage of the suit than just the promos. I did a little digging, reverse image searching, and boldly searched Guano mascot suit.
This resulted in images from the site AC Paradise, specifically of the Guano suit in front of a Kappa Mikey themed booth at New York Anime Festival 2007, which hosted a Kappa Mikey panel. The lead actor Michael Sinner-Nicholas also hosted a voice acting game show that I think could be a video in its own right.
With this one sweet taste, I knew what I had to do, and it was what any sane person would do. I looked at hours and hours of convention video diaries from 2007. I managed to find footage of the suit in front of a completely different booth, which of course means that it had at least 2 public appearances. The second appearance was actually likely earlier than the first appearance that I saw, New York Comic Con 2007. In my search, I remembered something important. I remembered that my brother, the choking kid, had a habit of printing out things he liked and pasting them on his notebooks and folders. I asked him to dig through his school stuff, and he found a photo of the Guano suit standing next to the very character he parodied, Pikachu. The date on the photo is January 1st, 2004, which is obviously not true because Kappa Mikey was released in 2006 and its public appearances that we know of thus far were in 2007. Could the suit have been made early in production to promote the series? Could it be a mislabeling? This was the conclusion I came to after being sent a link to the original photo on Flickr by @KappaStan on Twitter. The account that hosts the photo is called Kappa Mikey Comic-Con, and it's full of photos from New York Comic-Con and New York Anime Festival. The photo itself claims to be from January 1st, 2004, but is tagged as 2007 and is in a photo album called NY Comic-Con 2007. Several photos from the collection are dated February 23rd, 2007. A cursory search reveals that New York Comic-Con 2007 started that very day. So it's not a stretch to assume that these photos, including the Pikachu photo, were taken at this convention. Now, I have a pretty easy theory about how the mislabeling of this photo occurred. According to the Flickr specifications, it was taken on a Konica Minolta Dimage X31. Most likely, the photographer forgot to adjust the camera default settings. Cameras often default to the first date of the year they were released in their settings. The Konica Minolta Dimage X31 came out in 2004, which explains the January 1st, 2004 date. While the Pikachu photo could have been taken at New York Comic Con 2007 or the 2006 event, my personal theory is the former. There was a Pokemon booth at the New York Comic Con 2007, as evidenced in the photo from this PPN article. This article includes a photo of a very familiar Pikachu mascot suit. Though this may be a coincidence, there are plenty Pikachu suits out there. So after I did all this galaxy brain reasoning, I went on Internet Archive and discovered that it was way easier to find what I was looking for than I thought it was. If you pay a visit to KappaMikey.com's 2007 incarnation, it turns out that, yeah, I had it pretty much on the money! A blog post on the site about New York Comic Con 2007, dated February 25th, shows the famous Pikachu image, and gives details about their booth and schedule. At this convention, there was everything from Guano meet and greets to shots of storyboard artists sketching. It answered almost every question I had about the public appearances of the suit. They even mentioned that meet and greet shots were taken with a Polaroid, which explains this flashy quality on all of the Flickr images. It also answered the question of where my brother found the photo in the first place. He spent plenty of time on KappaMikey.com playing various games on the site. I found myself a little deflated about how easy it was to find the answers to my questions.
But since we've gotten this far, let's go over the two known public appearances of the Guano suit. First is New York Comic Con, which is well documented by KappaMikey.com, as well as the Kappa Mikey Comic Con Flickr account. But what about its second appearance at New York Anime Festival 2007? The WayBack Machine can only provide us with so much. I was unable to find a blog post about NYAF on KappaMikey.com, even though I would say it's pretty likely it existed, because the site's blog details pretty much everything Kappa Mikey, from big contests like the guitar sweepstakes to their clip of the week iTunes show. So, is there any way at all we can learn about the suit's appearance at New York Anime Festival? During my summer quarantine, I looked through hours of convention footage from 2007. I dug through every photo on AC Paradise tagged as NYAF07. Most photos appear to be meet and greet style setups in front of a simple backdrop, but other photos prove, oh yeah, he walked among us. Some of the most interesting photos were contributed by Kevin Lillard. Here's a photo from Kevin of the suit milling around the con, and another, which has to be my favorite, where two badge staff members are leading Guano through the crowd. I have contacted Kevin on Twitter and hope he responds. I have also reached out to Anime NYC. This is the current name of the convention formerly known as New York Anime Fest. They have graciously offered to see if they can find some answers themselves. And if they do, I'd love to make an update video with any new leads and info. While my conquest ended mostly in a dead end, it was fun in a nostalgic kind of way. That's about the time when I started going to anime conventions myself. I only managed to catch a good glimpse of the booth in one video, and that too was quite fleeting. If you or anyone you know went to NYAF 07, I'd love to hear from you. Especially if you were one of the staff members in Kevin's photo, or you were in the Guano suit. If you have ever been in that suit, I need to talk to you. Please.
My hunt continued. I wanted that suit. I had delusions of tracking it down, offering as much money as I could shovel out of my savings account, student loans be damned, and getting that suit. But that's when tragedy struck. I found a post from Kappa Mikey Official on Instagram. Someone in the comments, Post-Step Diode, said the following. I don't remember where. I think it could have been on the subreddit, but I heard it was burnt. So I dug through the Kappa Mikey subreddit looking for any evidence of this claim, and I didn't find any. In my hour of despair, I tweeted at Kappa Mikey creator Larry Schwartz. And in this hour of despair, he descended from heaven to tell me. Unfortunately, I think it got thrown out when we moved offices. I know, it sucks! This means not burned, not destroyed by some company policy to protect the reputation of Guano, which I don't think was a big concern. So, unfortunately, he was discarded and the trail runs cold here. But I do like to think he's out there somewhere. Maybe with that last shipment of Yowie paddles. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any more photos or videos of the suit, please let me know. I did a lot of digging for those two cons to find very little footage of the booth and of the suit itself. I found no video of the suit moving outside of Nicktoons bumpers that they produced themselves, so I found nothing of it moving at the convention. It seems pretty likely because I'm sure Kappa Mikey wasn't exactly popular, and I'm sure it wasn't received very well by anime fans at the time, because they probably thought it was making fun of anime. I don't know, I think Kappa Mikey's really funny, you should give it a chance. Bye. You can go back to 2021 instead of 2006. Goodbye.